What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the third review. This is going to be The Oval. This is season 3, episode 2, and the episode was titled Off Limits. You guys might hear my fan that's in front of me just keeping, blowing some air on me. So that's that. So before we get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and are not already subscribed, then I just need you guys to do me a big favor. Stop taking me out on this date. Hit that subscribe button, the like button, notification bell, share the video, and with that out the way, without further ado, let's discuss The Oval, shall we? Alright, you guys, so this episode, now I don't necessarily remember where we left off last week. This episode, we see Max and Blakely. They are in Lily's house, right? And I was like, what the hell is going on here, right? So they tell her that there was an attempt on the president's life, right? And Lily has been asleep, so Lily doesn't know anything about this, right? So then they tell Lily that they need to get into Donald's office, and she says she can't help with that. So then she tells them that his office is really secure, but they say that, hey, if you get us in there, we can get in. So then we see Richard. Richard shows up to the White House, right? And Sam tells him, that there was an attempt on the president's life and that they lost someone tonight, that they lost Morris. So then Sam asks if Richard found Barry. He says, yes, I did find him. He said he was out looking for the colt, but he didn't find them. So Richard is basically like, we got to do something. Like, my grandchild, she is still with that colt. Like, we got to figure some shit out, right? So that's where we are with that. So then we see Ellie. So Ellie, she's the press secretary, so she's doing her duties. She's talking to the press. They're asking questions about Hunter. Is he okay? They're asking, do they know who, took this attempt on Hunter's life? She says it's still an ongoing investigation, right? So then they ask about Hunter. Like I said, they asked about Hunter and Victoria. And meanwhile, Victoria's like, this bitch. Because she was looking at it on the news, and she's like, really? She's here? So Victoria goes to the press room, and she gets up and she says, I'm fine. And then Hunter comes out, and Hunter, he talks to the press. He tells them, hey, you guys can see me. I'm fine. There's nothing to worry about. So then they want to talk to him more. He says, I'm not, giving any kind of briefings at this point. We're not talking. I just want to come out here, let you guys see that I'm alive and I'm well, unfortunately. But let's move on. Alright, you guys, so next up, let's talk about Dale. So Dale is awake, right? Kareem and Sharon, they're in the room, and Kareem is basically grilling the hell out of Dale, asking Dale if he knows, who shot him. He says no. He tells him that the guy came into the pharmacy, he started flirting with him, and then out of nowhere, pop, 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 he shot him. So then Kareem kept asking, do you know him? He was like, why are you asking me this question? So he says that the reason that he's asking it is because, now see, here's the thing that bothered me. If people saw this happening, why didn't they call the police? That makes no sense. So people saw them talking to each other for quite some time. The man pulls out a gun and shoots him. You hear the gunshot. Or did he have a silencer on? I can't remember. But you hear the gunshots, and then you see the man walk out, and you don't do anything. Okay. So Sharon eventually told Kareem, like, Kareem, please leave. You're not really helping the situation. You're really making things worse. So he leaves. So then Sharon's asking him about Kyle. She's like, do you think he could have done it? He says he's crazy, but I don't think he did it. So Victoria, they left the press room. So it's Victoria, it's Donald, it's Hunter, and it's Ellie. They went to the Oval, right? So Victoria still wants Ellie fired at this point, right? And Victoria walks up on her and says, you know what, you're dead, and she leaves. So then Hunter instructs Donald to leave as well. So then Hunter, being the pig he is, right? He tells Ellie, I need you to handle me right about now. And he tells her the only reason that she got this job is because of that little body that she has. I'm like, that is so disgusting that you're objectifying her. So disgusting. Like, all you want her to do is sleep with you. She tells him she will decide if she wants to sleep with him. He says, well, can you decide that you want to sleep with me now? Hunter. Hunter, 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 Hunter. Go to hell. That's all I got to say to you. Go to hell. Okay, so she left the she left the Oval Office with Hunter, right? Went back to her office. Donald was in there. Donald says, he sure came pretty quick. He sure came pretty quick, didn't he? She's like, what are you talking about? Now, ma'am, let's not play stupid. But you could have said I didn't do anything with him, so keep your little two bits to yourself, right? So Donald tells her basically to stay far away from Hunter. Or else what, Donald? Then he tells her she has no idea what she's getting into. And that one, I agree with. This little girl doesn't know what she's getting involved in. But go for it, man. But let's move on. All right, you guys. Next up, Victoria. So Victoria took her ass down there to Alan's office, right? She says, pull your pants down because I want to see if you have some balls. He was like, huh? Pull your pants down because I want to see if you have some balls. So then she says to him, are you handling your bitch? He's like, have I hit her? She's like, no. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Have you ever hit her? He tells her no. I'm like, that's a lie. You knocked her head into the kitchen counter, one of the cabinets, but you've never hit her. So then she tells him that she wants him to beat Ellie's ass. And he's like, ma'am, what? Beat her ass. That's all I want you to do is just to beat her ass. And she says, and if you don't do it, then I'll send a guy over there that can beat your ass until you beat her ass. I'm like, well, wait a minute. What? So you want him to slap the shit out of her, and if he doesn't, you're gonna send somebody over there to beat him up until he beats her up. Okay. So then Donald comes in, right, and he asks her why is she there. She leaves out. So when she left out, that's when Alan told Donald what she wanted. The White House, the people in it, they're ridiculous. So Barry got home, right? So Nancy asked him, had he been looking for Callie? He said he didn't. He said yes, but he did not find the colt. And the way that Nancy is trying to come at Barry is kind of interesting, right? This is a man that is looking for his daughter, and then here you are telling him not to, right? I get it. This is a cult. You don't know what these people, well, we know what they're capable of at this point. They ran Sharon off the road, so we know what they're capable of. But the thing that bothers me with Nancy is the fact that Callie is sort of, not even sort of, Callie is missing because of you, my love. You're the reason she's missing. And her dad is trying to find her. And Barry hit her with a good one. Would you do this for me? Because you damn sure didn't do it for Picky. And she was like, what did you say? And he was like, I'm sorry, Ma. She's like, I didn't hear that. Say it again. He's like, I'm sorry, Ma. She's like, I will pack your shit up and put you out. Didn't Richard already put you out of the house? So how can you put somebody out of something that you were put out of? Right. So then we see Kyle. So Kyle goes to see Donald. He's asking him if he had Dale shot, right? Kyle is upset about this whole situation, saying that Dale is really innocent. And Donald's like, he's not innocent because he was in your bed. I'm like, so you jealous because your little lover boy here was having sex with someone else, but you have a whole ass wife at home? Doesn't make sense whatsoever, right? Now, mind you, Donald is enjoying this. All right, you guys, I'm gonna pause here and move forward. All right, you guys, next up, let's talk about Priscilla. So Priscilla, she showed up to the White House. She's trying to see if she's just like, oh God, you're okay. Talking to Sam, right? So she asked him what happened. He told her about the attempt on the president's life, and she was like, are you sure it was the president and not that bitch? And he says, he really didn't tell her much. So you guys remember, all the senior White House staff had been called to the White House, right? So Sam is trying to tell Priscilla, like, Priscilla, I think it might be best if you go home. Priscilla's not going anywhere. Priscilla is staying. She has a job to do. I'm like, do you really? Because, I mean, you just literally went off on the first lady, threatened to write a tell-all book, and then asked her about Gene, but you still have a job. Okay. I mean, let you, okay. So Kyle goes back into Donald's office, right? And he's telling him that, he says that our home computer is trying to access the Pentagon. I was like, hour. Okay, cool. So Donald says that, he can handle this, right? And Kyle's getting ready to leave. Donald also told him that if you go to the hospital, it'll be much worse for him, right? So then we see back over at Donald's house where Blakely, she's into the computer, but she's not really finding any information out, right? And at this point, they still have no communication from Martin. So Max and Bobby kind of think that this is set up, and Blakely, she got offended by that. She's like, no, he would never do anything like that. So Blakely then tells them that, she's been tracked. So Max and Blakely, they leave, and then that leaves Bobby. So Bobby stays behind. He's going to go up to the attic and keep a watch on Lily. He tells Lily to go get in her bed and pretend like she's been asleep this entire time. So then we see Alan. So Alan, he goes into Ellie's office. He tries to tell Ellie, hey, the first lady, crazy as hell, right? She just came into my office and she wanted me to beat you. I mean, the way that he was talking to her was giving the vibes and screaming, I'm gonna attack you. So then Donald comes in and tells him, wait in my office. So Donald and Ellie, they're butting heads with each other for what reason, I don't know. It feels like a bit of a pissing match with those two, but I don't get it. So then we see Sam. So Sam is telling Richard that Priscilla is there, right? And Richard tells him, like, she went off on the first lady, and the first lady said she was fired. Then she said she'd write a tell-all book, and then she asked, where's Jen? He says, where is Jen? And, Sam's like, hell, even I don't know where she is, right? So Sam asked Richard to keep an eye on Priscilla and not to let her serve the first lady. Meanwhile, Priscilla, in the first lady's room, first lady thought that it was Hunter coming to the room. She's like, you smell like her cheap perfume. So Priscilla put her hand on the bed, on the sheet. She said, it's not cheap. And she hopped up and she's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And that's where the episode ended, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Share the video and into the next one. Stay safe, take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye, guys.